So I'm a pitcher now. That's the first time I have received that title. Well, let's see if I can maybe provoke a little bit and push you a little bit to do some more global action. I want to start off by asking how many of you, how many organizations in this room are working with small-scale producers? I just want to see some hands just to get a feel. That's like a third or so. And if we speak about small-scale fisheries, small-scale fisheries, 1, 2, yes, that's good. The reason why I want to know that is, well, if you look at some of the global statistics, we know that roughly 75% of the food that is produced by small-scale producers, or just 25% of the agricultural land. So that tells us a little bit about the importance of small-scale producers, and the fact that they're only producing at 25% of the land also, well, it's alarming because what's happening on the other 75. The Food Sovereignty Forum is what I'm talking about now for the next 4 minutes, I guess. And well, what is food sovereignty actually? So let's just spend 30 seconds on that. Well, food sovereignty is to go way beyond food security. It's to look at the entire value chain in food production systems, whether it's in fisheries, in agriculture, or in forestry. And it's about the democratic control. It's about people's control of the production system. So what happens when the crop is harvested? It stays within the region or the local economy. It's not exported to Denmark or to US or anything like that. So that's a little bit about what food sovereignty is. Now, what is the network a response to? It's a response to a global trend. We've been talking about global trends earlier today, and I've heard, to be a bit provocative, too much about the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, there are more important trends happening out there, and that's the trend of land grabbing, it's a trend of ocean grabbing, it's a trend of water grabbing. We see that when resources are grabbed, not just in the global south, actually also in Europe, in our backyard, then we're losing democratic control. And what we see is also that millions of producers around the world are being kicked off their land, are being denied access to fish resources, and basically losing their livelihood. And well, we know the consequences of this because we all know in the field of development. But we have to look at why is this happening. This global trend, I will call it, has been accelerated since the financial crisis in 2008. And it is happening because we're living in a deeply entrenched neoliberal society where free trade agreements, for example, and investment agreements are making it possible, increasingly, for foreign nations, for foreign companies, for private donors, to go and grab the resources that belong to the people in the global south, or in the global north, for that matter. What is my timing? 1.5 minutes about the network. 10 years ago, a group of 5 people got together, had some discussions around how can we work together with social movements to address the issues that social movements are facing. That's the food producers in the world that they are facing. A couple of years later, we had a founding General Assembly of what was then called the Fisheries Network. It was formed as a semi-formal network, with a bit of funding from the Civil Society Fund, we managed to engage in many activities, in learning circles around the world. We participated in a global conference on fisheries from about 80 movements across the world. And this was a very important moment for the network because this is where we learned directly from engaging with the movements. And we listened to what are they actually saying. They're saying, no, we don't want Pescanova from Spain, Monsanto, or whatever company or whatever private investors to come and grab what is ours. So That is really the crux of our network. I mean, that is, we work together with the social movements in solidarity. And then I know I've spent my 5 minutes already, but I'm not going to show the entire video of 2 minutes, but this is just one example of how the network is engaging in political advocacy, in political work, in the political struggle in a Danish and a European and a global context.